Travis Wayne Goodsell. Just uploaded the video about the church crashing my internet. Check my comments, and there's one by a John D. Lee. And I go, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? I read his comment, and he is being he's being mean. He's being a bully. That helped me understand where I remember this guy from. John D. Lee says, 1 hour ago, right before the internet went down. But everything I do is automatically held. So none of you would have seen his comment. But I'm going to tell it to you anyway. He says, I is what's assumed here. He says, never faithful, never devoted, just going through the motions until you took the easiest exit ramp. ... Stop the pretense. He's replying to, as a faithful and devoted Mormon, why am I now an ex-Mormon? John D. Lee, which of course, he's a nobody on YouTube. There's nothing. Just no face, just J for John. And so he's one of the spies I've been talking to you about. He came on here to attack. That was his sole purpose, was to create this bogus account with this famous John D. Lee, and I'm about to get to him, if you don't know already, just to attack me. And then my internet gets shut off. Just me, nobody else, just me. Which, assuming that somebody did go back to the federal court to check to see if something had been filed after the clerks went home yesterday. But I can't confirm until I find out on Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, does the church want to know? I want to know. They want to know. We want to know. Oberg is messing with both of us. And but they have the in. They have Mormons on the inside in the federal court, in the clerk's office. They can find out. And would they? Would they? They have email access. I don't. I have to email, but there's an e-filing thing. They have that code thing, but they shouldn't, because they have to, it's unique to this particular case. And so that's why I have to wait for the snail mail to find out my results if I can't first find out online on the docket. So maybe the clerks, or not the clerks, maybe the lawyers came in on Saturday just to check and found out, because they need to stop. They got rid of Percy. They fixed the water. They didn't quite fix the air unit, but my landlord is all nice and, oh, we're getting on it right away. And but they still have to wait till Monday for the part. But I'm exposing them big time, because it's real simple, guys. The symbol they have on the door of the temple, which I put on that video, is the inverted pentagram. It is only the symbol for falling stars. And who is the most famous fallen star of all? Lucifer. As the keystone of the arch of the entrance to the temple. John D. Lee. John Doyle Lee, born September 6, 1812, died March 23, 1877. Was an American pioneer and prominent early member of the Latter-day Saint movement in Utah. Lee was later convicted as a mass murderer for his complicity in the Mountain Meadows Massacre, sentenced to death, and was executed in 1877. I saw that and went, wait, that's when Brigham Young died. Was Brigham Young also executed? And the Mormons have been telling me he just died? What's happening here? What is the real church history? If you don't know about the Mountain Meadows Massacre, it was on September 11th. And so if you think that, that 9/11 incident in New York, taking down the towers with 2 planes, when the buildings were purposely designed to withstand that kind of a blow, yet somehow they fell as if it were a demolition. And then there's that BYU professor, let's see, what field of study was it? Physics? He comes out and says that, yeah, something's fishy here. The government report is not correct. It defies the laws of physics. The only way it could have fallen that fast is if it were a demolition. And then the church came after him, punished him for using his work computer to talk about physics, which was his subject matter that he taught at BYU. And so you thought it was Poppy Bush for his CIA involvement in the coup d'etat of the Chilean president on 9/11. 9/11 is a famous Illuminati date. And so, yes, he's the bishop that the church finally came out not too long ago. They acknowledged his involvement. Allegedly. He wasn't allegedly. He was a member of the Danites. Allegedly. And yes, he was involved in the Mormon War. And so, yes, he got to go on the first trek out because he was among the loyalists. And so, yeah. And so, again, John D. Lee, a created account at the last minute, just an hour ago, right before my internet gets flipped off, telling me that I'm not the faithful and devoted one. Yep, because he knows all about being faithful and devoted, don't you, John D. Lee? I told you, they're coming to get me. I won. Because there would be no reason to do this to me today. They would be waiting. But they have access that I don't have. And so they would know before me. They would know today. Whether it's the clerk of the court going in on a Saturday to take care of some unfinished business, as they would tell the guards. Or if the lawyers do have access to an email account for this case that has not been granted to me yet. One way or another, right before noon, I was attacked by John D. Lee. He rose as the zombie apocalypse. I told you guys, the church is evil. I have a Danite, a descendant of Danites, taking upon him his name, coming after me. This is a death threat, guys. Do you understand this? He's using the name of the convicted mass murderer and Danite, a loyalist to Brigham and Heber C. Kimball. This is a death threat. Because the church is true, right? The church only sends death threats because they're the true church of Jesus Christ, not Lucifer. Because Lucifer doesn't do death threats, right?